Welcome to Freezer Milk Podcast. I'm your host, Bridget, along with my husband, Chris. Podcast where we talk about the comedic side and serious side of parenting, life, and relationships. We are boy parents. We have two boys, Enzo and Rhett, with about a 6-year age gap between the two. You can check out our website, freezermilk.com. Also, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Freezer Milk Podcast. Thanks and hope you enjoy. Welcome back.
Week 73.
It's not week 73.
Oh.
We're almost at 1 year.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
What has been happening
this week, I don't know. Not really a whole lot. We just got off to a new week, so Enzo's at his dad's.
Since our last podcast.
Well, I don't know. Enzo broke the toilet.
Yeah. Man. Let's dig into that a little bit. So, Enzo has chores. And one of his chores is we taught him how to clean the toilet, and we use the Clorox, like disposable heads that you like throw away on the little like wand to do it. And I showed him how to do it, and he's very good about doing it. And he cleans his toilet every week without asking, and it's very clean. And then this week, he went to his dad's on Monday, and that bathroom is closest to my office. So I went to go to the bathroom, and when I flushed, I noticed that like it didn't really flush, and that was very unusual. There was nothing that should have not flushed. And so we got like a plunger. We started plunging, and I realized Enzo cleaned his toilet the day before, and there was no dirty toilet cleaner head in the trash can, which made me realize that he flushed it down the toilet, which they are not supposed to do at all.
Yep, their circumference is a little too big to fit through the toilet itself. So we tried snaking, and now I got to pull the toilet off and try and pull it out and see if I can do it without breaking the toilet.
Otherwise, we'll be
buying a new toilet.
Yeah. And it's such like a hard balance because on one hand, he's so responsible and he's so, mature and grown up. But on the other hand, like, he's still 7.
Yeah.
So trying to find that balance of, like, he's still little at the end of the day. And I'm sure when the head popped off of the wand, he probably was like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm just going to make it disappear. Because the toilet's where things disappear. Because I don't think we've ever had a conversation really about, like, you don't put stuff down the toilet and this is why.
We haven't had to.
Yeah.
Now, with Rhett, we might have to.
Oh, God. With Rhett, we're going to have a conversation about don't drink the toilet water.
Right.
It's not a fucking bath. Don't go sit in it.
Right.
But, yeah. So we're probably going to have to buy a new toilet. That part sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely monitor and watch him clean the toilet going forward.
Yeah.
And have a big conversation about just why we don't put anything down the toilet.
Yeah.
Maybe if we like hold a toy to the outside of the toilet where you can see like the pipe like do the twisty twist. And show him like, hey, this would not go through here.
I mean, I think he's gonna know.
Yeah.
As soon as we get him back. So I don't think it really matters.
Just
frustrating. I'm like all you had to do was come to me and say, hey, I accidentally dropped the thing in the toilet.
And I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think that's the frustrating part is like, and that's where we have to encourage him. Come to us when you don't know what to do.
Right.
Instead of, I appreciate you trying to self-solve it, but you picked wrong, and now
it's going to be costly. Yeah, now it's costly. So
that's hard.
There's a balance. I mean, he is 7 years old, and we expect him to clean his toilet. That's a little ridiculous in itself. So
I feel like I had that chore by the time I was that age.
You think?
Yeah. My parents are super. Like, we had a lot of...
I was doing, like, my own laundry and stuff, but...
He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
we have a fancy washer, he wouldn't know what to do.
No, and I wouldn't let him.
No. He'd break it. We'd be like, yeah, that's
a little bit more expensive than a toilet.
Toilet's a lot cheaper. Man. Rhett is wild.
Yeah, he's a hoot for sure.
He's like so wild.
He's just spirited. I mean, he's just got lots of energy. He's constantly into something.
Very
into
inquisitive.
Stuff. Yes, he's very inquisitive. He's, what's in here? What can I go in here? You know, like, I want to see in here. You know.
He like moved one of the shelves out of the bottom cabinet.
I'm sure he did.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then he was like looking at the clips that hold the shelf and like playing with it. Like, what is this? How did you hold this big piece of wood in place?
Mm.
How do you work? I feel like he kind of has an engineer brain, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's just fascinated by
how things work. Yeah.
That's not Enzo. Enzo doesn't give a shit.
Mm-mm. Enzo's very mathematically, like, oriented, and Rhett, I feel like, is more of the engineer oriented. It's interesting to see. He is standing on top of everything. He's opening everything. He figured out how to pull the little baby-proof outlet covers out of the outlets. He figured out how to get his finger just pried under it enough and like stubbornly pull at it until it eventually pops out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what child does this? Our child.
Yeah.
He's been funny, I think. I don't know if he's teething or a cold or what, but he's been interesting with like meals recently. Like tonight. What did he do tonight?
He would only eat with you.
Like sitting on my lap and only wanted to eat from my plate.
Yeah.
But then he wanted to eat all of it.
Yep.
And it was the exact same thing that was on his plate.
He might not be feeling good either.
Yeah.
Everybody else in this household's a little under the weather.
Yeah. You got some work done at your mom's house this weekend.
Yep.
That was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I guess it's taking me a lot longer than I originally anticipated, but yeah.
But like some of her neighbors might want some work done, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
it helps now that she's out of town, so she's visiting my sister. So.
And it helps that like her friend who's like in that world was telling her like she got a really good price and everything else.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. She's still a cheap ass.
That part's true. We made some strides for one of our businesses this past week.
Doing putting in a lot of time for that recently.
Yeah. Why don't you elaborate like what like we did yesterday and like what you're just kind of like blown away by?
Oh, the tech, because we're trying to implement systems to automate our processes for our business to make it more efficient because we don't have a ton of extra free time because we have jobs and kids and stuff like that. But, so I'm going through all these modules and trying to figure out exactly how to automate these things and build this system so it makes our lives easier. Because at the end of the day, we're looking for financial freedom and we're looking for the ability to set our own hours, and get out of the rat race. And but yesterday, I've been going through modules and trainings and seminars and coaching and, trying to get help. And then you came in. We decided that Monday nights, every other Monday night or twice a month, we're going to do, what'd you call it?
Make Money Mondays.
Make Money Mondays, where we invest a good amount of time after the kids go to bed in helping to
work on our business,
elevate our business. And you came in, we were in my office for about 2 hours. I was going through some training, trying to get some ideas on some stuff. And by the time I got off my modules, you had already basically set up the entire system. Like had a web page done, had our phone dialer done, had pretty much everything just set, already ready to go.
Ran some data analytics on some.
Yeah, you were
Excel
filtering a list for me and I'm like I felt like I didn't do anything. I'm like, but it was pretty funny. So we realized she's the IT expert.
I think it was funny because I wish I could have like captured the look you had on your face when you like saw the stuff I'd accomplished in that time frame. Because it's something you and I've talked about where I feel really guilty that my normal hustle's not there right now.
Yeah.
And my normal drive is not there right now. And I feel really bad because it's funny. I was having a conversation earlier this week with two girlfriends of mine. And we're talking about how like it feels so right when you're like equally matched with somebody on like hustle and drive and an intellectual level. And that's something that I super value about you and I, is that we are pretty normally matched on like hustle, drive, and intellectual level. But this last year has been really tough on me, and my hustle and drive have definitely gone way down temporarily, but I wish I could have captured the look on your face, because I think that you had this look of just pure like amazement.
If it wasn't relief, that's what that look was complete relief, because I've been training to try and do this stuff and I'm like overwhelmed.
But I think it was like, I think at a subconscious level, it was also like a relief of like, her drive is still there.
Oh, it was great to see like that.
Her hustle's still there.
Yeah, you threw this together in a couple hours and I'm like, holy shit. Like, you know, I'm definitely not that. Like, you are definitely tech savvy. You're very, very creative when it comes to that kind of stuff. And we kind of discussed that last night. And I think that's, you know, what helps. Especially, it's hard to go into business with your significant other, but when you have somebody that's good at something, you let them do that thing. And then the other person, we balance each other just, you know, really well, because I'm good at a lot of other things. You're great at those type of things, you know. It was amazing, because I was like, man, you did everything that I've been like looking at, like, holy shit, when am I going to find time to do this in 2 hours? And I'm like, okay. But again, it was huge. It was a huge help for me. It made me feel a whole hell of a lot better. And it didn't, you know, like you said that, you know, when you're in a relationship and you feel like you're equally matched as far as hustle and drive and motivation, and then one of the individuals in the relationship kind of slows down a little bit, the other person's like, you know, like, this is tough. It's just a tough situation.
It is. And that's where I felt, you know, the last 12 months, like, I have felt very guilty about that. Like, I know that it's letting you down, you know, at like maybe not a conscious level, but on like a subconscious level. Like, I feel like I'm letting you down because it's not my normal who I am.
Well, I got to remember, the last pregnancy with Rhett, you went out and trained and got your real estate license.
That was on maternity leave.
On your maternity leave.
Yeah.
You took care of that.
Yeah.
That was pretty impressive, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to give you the benefit of the doubt there, but also I got to understand that maybe you just want to enjoy this pregnancy and this time and not have to worry about shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me because I'm like, I really want us to bloom and I really want our businesses to take off and I want us to be successful. I want to get us out of the 9-to-5s. I want us to have a lot more freedom, you know.
It is such a balance because, you know, we're pretty like 99% sure this is our last pregnancy and our last baby, and
yeah,
I think that weighs on me a little bit about, hey, savor this.
Because you only get it for so long.
Because, like, I'm going to miss the belly, you know?
Yeah.
And you're going to miss the belly, and I'm going to miss feeling the baby move inside of me, and there's aspects of pregnancy that you miss. Even though there's a lot of parts of it that aren't great.
Yeah. There's
aspects that you're like, man, I miss that. Like, I just miss that connection, and I miss my baby was safe in utero.
Yeah.
You know, instead of in the crazy world and being a crazy, you know, spirited baby.
You're right.
But I do try to savor those moments, and, you know, I think we've talked about the fact that hopefully this baby will be not as colicky as Rhett was, and how you really want to try to savor those early days.
Because I didn't really get that.
And you're realizing as Rhett is getting older how quick it goes and how quick he changes.
Mm-hmm.
And how quick you're just like, holy crap, like when did you grow up all of a sudden?
Right.
You know, like you're your own little toddler. Today we were running errands and you hopped out of the car to like run in and grab something real quick. And he lost it about the fact that he knew you got out of the car, you were driving, and his car seat's behind your seat. He knew that your door was open. He knew you'd exited the vehicle and you didn't come get him out of the car.
Right.
And it did not matter that I was talking to him, that I tried to like interact with him. The fact was that you didn't get him out of the car and take him with you. And he sat there like pawing at the door, trying to grab the door handle. And I'm like, he fully understands this opens, like something on this door opens this door. Mm-hmm. And normally dad gets me out and he's not. But like that whole mentality and understanding is not something he had a few months ago.
Right.
A few months ago, it was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we're getting out of the car. Oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm just chilling. Now he's like, no. I'm aware you exited the vehicle. I didn't physically see you, but I know you did.
Yep.
It's just interesting to see.
It's amazing how he shapes and, like, it was like, I fell asleep on the couch today.
Yeah.
And thankfully you guys let me, like, sleep a little bit, but...
yeah, I think I tried to give you about an hour before he really started bugging you.
Yeah, he kept coming up and lifting up the pillow because I had the pillow on top of my face.
Yeah.
And he kept lifting up the pillow and he would lean down and like open mouth my nose.
Yeah.
Because I'm a snorer and you know he's always like checking to see if I'm still breathing. But it's just stuff like that he does that it amazes me every day. Every day his facial structure is changing.
He does like the scrunchy nose face now all of a sudden. Have you seen that one?
And he knows what he wants. He doesn't necessarily know how to voice what he wants, but he knows what he wants and he'll tell you what he wants. It's amazing.
Talk about his newest thing that like frustrates you during like mealtime that you were super frustrated by the other day until I figured out what he wanted and then you're like, oh,
he's got to have. So now he recognizes that everybody, aside from him, uses silverware. Uh-huh. And every time I give him food now, doesn't matter what he's eating.
It could be French fries.
He has to have a fork or a spoon in his hand.
Yep.
Even though he doesn't know how to use it.
He's working on it.
He's working on it, but he has to have it. Otherwise, he freaks out and he won't eat. And it took me forever to figure out what he needed.
Yeah, that and his agua.
And he's got to have his water. I'm like, it's amazing. He's just got his thing that he,
But the funniest shit is that he then gets frustrated when he's trying to like use the utensil, and the food will fall off of it, and he'll get really like visibly like frustrated and like throw a mini temper tantrum about it. Yep. And eventually he'll look at you and be like, "Help!" because he wants help for it, and then if you help him with it, then he's okay.
Or if he'll grab the TV remote while his show will be on. He'll grab the TV remote and he'll change it to something else. And I don't do anything. I just sit there. I watch him, and he will eventually get frustrated because he's not watching his show anymore because he changed the channel, and he'll immediately bring the remote and set it right next to you. So I change it back to where he wanted it to be.
It's just crazy. Or like, what, this week he decided all of a sudden to call Enzo Bubba?
Yeah.
He's never called him that before. I don't know why it started.
Well, it's because Enzo calls him Bubba.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So now he calls Enzo Bubba. And he, like, runs around the house yelling it. Like, looking for Enzo. Mm-hmm. And if, like, Enzo, like, goes to school and, like, Rhett doesn't ride with him, he will be, like, really upset and, like, stand by the door. Bubba! Bubba! Bubba!
That's also something that's kind of interesting is, you know, because we're on this 50% of the time we have Enzo and 50% of the time he goes to his dad's. And Rhett, you can always tell when Rhett knows that, or that when Rhett misses Enzo, or when Rhett's had too much of Enzo, or whatever the kid. Because on the Sundays before Enzo goes back to school to his dad's, Rhett's normally fried and needing some, you know, quiet him time. Because when it's just us three, we're very quiet individuals. The household's quiet, everything's quiet, it's not chaos, it's just us. but when we pick, but he'll go to his dad's, and you can just tell there's like the whole room changes.
Yep.
You know, and Rhett changes, and then we'll go a week without Enzo, and
Rhett will get really testy.
Yeah, he'll get
last 3 days prior.
Last few days he gets really weird.
Like he gets really testy. Like, where's my Bubba? Why is no one chasing me around the house playing tag?
Because mom and dad don't always do that like Enzo does. So
Enzo like wrestles him, interacts with him, picks him up and carries him, you know, tickles him, hugs him. Enzo.
I mean, I don't want you to think that we don't do that stuff either. Like, it's not like we stick him in a closet while he's, you know. But I mean, I chase him around the house constantly. But I think it's just different.
It's just not his playmate.
Yeah, I'm not his playmate, and Enzo is. So you can tell when Rhett's ready to have Enzo back.
Yeah.
So
it's cute, and then when Enzo gets here, Rhett is always so excited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like squealing, yelling, shrieking, all in excitement.
Yep.
And like yells Bubba, runs around, chases Enzo, lets Enzo chase him, runs into the wall. Like,
yeah, it's funny. It's just a whole different. It's just different. It's funny.
It's an interesting dynamic.
It is. It is.
It's got to be tough if you think about it from like the baby point of view of like his brother's here and then he's gone.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, like, once this baby's born, with him being like, oh, this one's here to stay.
Yeah, not going somewhere else every other week.
Yeah. I think that'll be interesting to see for sure. What else have we had this week?
I was really happy this week. We're tickled pink that our nanny's back.
Oh, man.
She gets bored because Rhett likes to take, you know, in the middle of her shift, likes to take an hour and a half nap. Yeah. So she gets bored and she constantly peeks her head in my office and is like, hey, do you have anything for me to do? And I'm like, I don't know, what do you want to do, you know?
Today you're like, do you want to organize the pantry? She's like, yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Is there a system you want? Nope.
Don't care. I just want it to look better.
Whatever you want to do is fine. She's like, okay.
So she did that. She organized like the medicine cabinet. She does your laundry. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't feel bad asking her.
She was trying to organize our like decor closet the other day.
Yeah. Well, she asked me for something to do, and I said we have like a decor closet that had to get some work done, and all the stuff got removed from it. So she asked me, she's like, hey, I need something to do, and I'm like, all right, well, the decor closet needs to be organized.
Because it's all in my guest bedroom right now.
And then I left because I had to go to a project or a job site, and you text me, I think.
I told you when you got home. I think. No, maybe I did text you. I was like, the nanny who is, you know, early 70s, very, very active, but still early 70s, asked me for the 8-foot ladder to go climb up on a ladder to reach the top shelf in this closet because we have 10-foot ceilings. And I told her, absolutely not. I don't need you falling off a ladder. I need you capable and able. And you were like, I asked her to do it. I was like, well, you didn't tell me that. So I told her, hell no. Not today.
So, needless to say, my decor closet still didn't get organized.
I know. I just don't want
You'd rather me climb up the ladder.
You want her to break her leg and not be able to work?
What if I break my leg and I can't work for you?
You got a nanny.
Oh, that's true. Well, it won't matter. I won't have any money. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at this week. We're just kind of we're happy to have a little bit of a break and been enjoying the pool and.
Can you believe it's September next month?
I know.
Or next week, I mean.
We're going through monsoon seasons.
Yeah.
It's been a wet one.
It has.
We probably need to have another date night.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon. All I could say is whoever's out there, make time to date your partner. It's important.
It is. It is. We'll have a little bit of one this weekend. We'll be working, but we're going to go work on your mom's closet and she'll watch the kids. The nanny will.
Yeah, not my mom.
No, not your mom.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Hope everybody has a good week.
Yeah.
Talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Enjoy your week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at
freezermilk.com
or Instagram.
Freezer Milk Podcast.
Until next week, guys. Thanks.
Don't forget, parenting is a trip. We are all here on the journey with you together. Thanks so much for listening.